Hello everyone! Welcome to our new Let's Play! Dragon Ball Z, Choseiya Densetsu, Legend of the Super Saiyan Legend. I think the correct title is the Super Saiyan Legend, but in any case, here is Skyzo. How are you doing, Skyzo?
Hello YouTube, I'm doing well.
Perfect. And we're just getting right into the story of DBZ. Now, there was an intro crawl that goes if you stay on the title screen long enough, recapping Goku's childhood adventures in the original Dragon Ball, but I didn't think to record that, so hang on the title screen if you want to see it.
Right.
Anyways, we want those 40 Zenny from Master Roshi, and that turtle card. Cards are going to be very important in this game, especially as items. You could have gotten a Dragon Radar from the woman on the left. That would help you locate Gohan, but it also takes up an inventory slot, so we don't need it.
Right, okay.
Now, we're gonna fight 4 guys that are about as strong as we are. That can be scary, so we want to save before fighting them. You can tell what our strength is by looking at BP, and you can check out what the enemy's strength is by pressing, I think, X or Y on the Super Nintendo. But we also start off with really good cards. Like, for example, Piccolo has a Z key card that you could just use to one-shot an enemy with a key attack, which are so much better than regular attacks. And you can do it with Light Grenade, because it's almost as strong as Special Beam Cannon, which he also has.
Right, so would you say there's a chance of you losing this battle? Like, just out of bad luck?
Yeah, like they could score continuous attacks, which are basically critical hits. Like, they do the regular attack, and then an animation plays where they headbutt you. And you take double damage, basically.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah. Now, we just used favorite cards. If you use a card that has the same symbol as your characters, like there's the headbutt right there. That's basically your critical hit. But yeah, if you use your favorite cards, your damage will be calculated as though you have 1.25 times the power level, and you attack all enemies in a single turn. The only downside is you don't get continuous attacks from that, but still well worth it for these guys.
I don't know if you noticed, but like these guys, they don't seem very strong to just pick Goku up in the air like that.
Indeed. Now, let's go over mechanics. Now, there are 1 to 7 dots on the upper left ball on each of our cards, and there's also Z, which represents 10. So Z is much stronger than the next highest number, which is 7. That's easy enough, you just count the dots or the Z. But then you've got stuff like the squiggly little lines in the lower right corner. Those are 1 to 7 or 10 as well. But the 1 to 7 are represented by Kanji. So if you see one squiggly horizontal line, that's a 1. If you see 2 of those squiggly lines, that's a 2. If you see 3 of them, that's a 3. If you see something that kind of looks like someone just scribbled all over the place, that's a 4. If you see something that sort of looks like a Z, it's hard to explain, but I'll have kanji symbols in the description. That's a 5. We just healed up, by the way. And if you see something that looks like a hat, that's a 6. And if you see something that looks like a T, or a reversed T, that's a 7. So those are the kanji. And this here is our bread and butter for the game. The buyable cards. Now, the strongest ones aren't available yet. We have Chi-Chis, we have Kaios, we have Yemas, all that. But we have some helpful ones nonetheless. What we want is one Puar card that restores 10 key points. Not usually a problem, but we'll have one specific use for it in this episode. And we want a bunch of oolong cards. Those shuffle our cards. So in case we get a really weak batch, we can get another try. And we can save anywhere we want. So what I usually do is I use 2 oolong cards if needed, and then reload if I don't get what I want. And have another turtle on hand as well, because those swap your attack and defense values. So, very handy things to have.
Right, so the shopkeeper that we just spoke to, they could probably defeat us, because they just have all the cards and like have an infinite number of them.
You know what? She probably could.
Yeah.
You're right.
Also, if she doesn't sell the cards to Goku, essentially he can't do anything. So like his adventure is over.
In this game? Oh yeah.
That's pretty funny to me.
Yeah. Now, those who have played this game will note how high the encounter rate in this game is. We're just walking, but that's actually generally yields the lowest encounter. If you're flying, that's a higher encounter rate, and if you're flying super duper fast with the aura, you'll get into a battle every few steps. So you're probably wondering how the heck I went without encounters on the overworld. That's due to a button combination that I don't know if it was a debug feature the game designers forgot to take out or what. But basically, if you fly into the air, you press Y 3 times, and then go into super fast mode, that will clear out all the encounters. The only way you'll ever get one again is if you land and you forget to clear something out. Like, if you land on the ground and then fly into the air again, it won't work. You have to land on the ground, fly up, land again, and then the trick will work. So that's something super helpful that we do to skip overworld encounters. And if we wanted to push the game really fast, we would try to fight the boss at the end at level 1 instead. Thing is, though, we need absurdly good luck. We need a Z key card. We need him to use a card of 1 defense, and we need him to not dodge. And we need him not using a favorite card, which, like I said, multiplies your power level by 1.25. So, for the purposes of a walkthrough, we just want to get to level 2 before him. It refills your HP and ki, so you don't lose anything. That makes sense, guys, ho?
It does, and it makes you wonder, like, if there's any other features like that the developers just left out.
Not really sure. There is some stuff we're skipping already that I'll put in a bonus episode. Like, there's a house to the north of this cave where we can fight enemies if we pay for it and get money instead of EXP. Or we can do a mini-game that raises our ki, but it is not worth it. It is not worth it at all.
Right. Well, I don't remember seeing these guys, like, these blue and yellow baddies from, like, the show. I don't remember them.
That's because they weren't in the show.
Really? So who are they?
Palette swaps, I guess. The game designers needed more enemies, so here are more enemies.
Oh.
I think it's kind of neat myself.
Well, I personally like the blue variant more.
Yeah. Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention. Those key cards that we're saving up, those will be very important for the boss I mentioned before. Instead of 1 super lucky key attack, we're aiming for, at level 1, we're aiming for level 2, 2 level 2 medium-sized attacks. And that will generally bring them down all the same.
Right.
Anyways, you think you got a pretty good feel of the combat, Skyzo?
Yeah, I do. And it seems like the kanji, like memorizing them, seems like a pretty important step in mastering the combat of this game.
It definitely is, at least for the beginning part. Later on, we'll find ways of getting around, even having weak defense cards, but as you're fighting these random encounters, you do want to keep track of that, because we do have a slight advantage over the blue guys, but only slight.
Right.
And ooh, we got a third key card. If we needed to, these guys weren't almost dead, we could probably burn one of those to take on one of the orange guys.
Right, so how do you... Well, I guess the orange, yeah, the orange variant is, like, stronger in some way.
Yeah, they have a higher power level.
Right.
Oh, wait, actually, you don't want to burn that third key card, because we need at least one key card for the second boss immediately after this one. You will see why later. Now, of course, we got a fourth key card there, so now we can burn the third, but you want at least 3 key cards walking into these next set of fights. And there we go, level 2. Time for something called save crawling.
Save crawling?
Yeah. What you do is you can save anywhere, so if you get into an encounter, you can reset the game and just continue on as though nothing happened. Of course, first you want to try and run away, but if you fail to do so, your cards will actually be weakened by 1 in both attack and defense, just like that. That is undesirable, so let's just reset and try again.
I don't see the point of a mechanic like that.
Of letting you save anywhere?
Yeah.
Convenience.
No, I guess you're right.
Of course, this game has fairly short dungeons, so they probably could have gotten away with just having it only work on the overworld, but it is what it is. Now, this guy is super strong. He even has a slightly higher defense value than most enemies. There are hidden stats that, for the most part, aren't really worth worrying about, like some enemies like this guy take less damage from attacks than most enemies do with the same power levels, key values, and all that. But, again, not worth worrying about.
Right, so you say this guy, but you're actually talking about Vegeta, right? This isn't some random enemy, right?
This is Raditz.
Really?
Well, at least he looked like Raditz. Skyzo doesn't really remember the show very well, y'all. He might say stuff like that, don't you worry.
Yeah, I have some trouble remembering, because like, it's been so long since I've watched the show as a child.
Ooh, this is good. Now, as you walk into this next boss fight, you want at least one high-value card, preferably a Z card. That's important for Goku to use in the first round. And you also want one key card. And the last thing you want to do, I think I wait till the boss fight to do this, but you want to restore Piccolo's ki. He needs at least 10 ki or this fight is unwinnable.
Really? It's completely unwinnable, there's no chance.
Correct. Well, I guess you could use glitches, but this is a glitchless playthrough.
So why do we need so much ki?
In order to use the Makanka Suppo / Special Beam Cannons / Demon Drill Cannons / Killing Flashing Light Gun of Spiraling Death, or whatever you want to call it.
So that's just like a special move that you use only this occasion and doesn't use any other place, right?
Oh no, you use it all the time. It's Piccolo's strongest attack. It's just that in this specific case, it's the only thing that can kill him, and only after turn 2. So anyways, you want Goku to use a Z attack card. Your attack also determines what order you go in. So, since Goku is using a Z card, he'll usually go first, unless Raditz also uses a Z card and has higher value defense. And that SP, Goku is gonna pin him down, and once he does, that demon wave will kill him instantly. So, under most circumstances, we have won the fight. Except for this, where Raditz got really lucky, got a Z card and a 6, and just caused a game over. If Piccolo or Goku die, it's game over.
Right, so what is the game over screen supposed to represent? Like, what is going on?
Vegeta destroying our planet, I guess.
And why does Vegeta want to do that?
If we lost, I'm not really sure. It makes sense in the show, though, because they're getting revenge for Raditz and wanting the Dragon Balls. Now, I do need to say something else before we move on. We also need to use a Gohan card at the start of turn 1. That activates those sequence triggers. Otherwise, Raditz is just invincible. And I also used a Grandpa card on him on turn 1. That immobilizes any enemy for 1 turn. And that's so Raditz doesn't one-shot us the way he just did there. Or the way he did earlier. So that's why we went into that house with those 4 orange guys.
Right.
Something I need to mention, because, well, I didn't mention it up till now.
Okay, so I noticed that the dialogue said that Goku was dead.
Yeah, he's dead.
So I imagine that we're gonna resurrect him.
Yep. And that's exactly why these Saiyans are coming, too. They want, Raditz... You know, in the show, he relayed a message to them, so out of spite, because he was about to die anyway. So the Saiyans were gonna go get the Dragon Balls, kill everyone on Earth, and sell it to the highest bidder. Now, I don't know why Vegeta shows up in the game over screen if Raditz won, because Raditz wouldn't have told him about that. Or maybe he would have, just maybe later on? I don't know.
Right, so what are we doing now?
Watching cutscenes.
Right.
I love this dialogue, too. What do you think of them, Master? They are treading strong and hard, but they're not gonna do anything against the Saiyans.
Also, I think the character on the right, like the black one with the red lips, he was censored, right?
Yeah. Well, at least in Toon's Eye. Like on Cartoon Network, Nicktoons, and Adult Swim, they left his skin alone. It was only 4 kids that changed his skin to blue.
That makes sense. You wouldn't want something that could be taken as a racist stereotype on your platform, I suppose.
Yeah, just wish they'd chosen a better color. Anyways, you have to beat up Piccolo with Gohan in order to proceed. If you lose, there's a fountain down below that you can check out to get your HP restored. And Piccolo will keep all the damage you inflicted on him now, so there's no reason to really use strong cards against him. It's more important that you save the strong cards for later. Because this next section coming up is one of the most important in the game. It just turns out that Gohan's able to lay the smackdown on Piccolo because Piccolo's only level 3. Most playthroughs, he'd be level 4 and have a power level advantage, but in our playthrough, Gohan is the stronger one.
Right. Right.
Okay, here's one of the more stressful parts of the game, and one of the weirdest. You're gonna go through a set of mini-games, and your performance and the late game is actually highly dependent on this, as is the fight against Nappa and Vegeta. Do you see the cards used counter?
Yes, I do.
Well, first of all, you want to save before doing this first one, but the more cards you use, the later Goku arrives to fight against Nappa and Vegeta. The other wrinkle, though, is that it also determines how early he arrives against the Ginyu Force, the toughest bosses in the game who are way later. If we get Goku as early as we possibly can, he actually will not be available to fight these guys called Jice and Birder. And that is really bad. I mean really, really bad. We'd have to rely on Vegeta, and trust me, you never want to rely on Vegeta, if you can help it, ever. So what we want is to use 17 to 18 cards. That will get Goku early enough in the next episode to where we have the easiest time we can, but it will also have him arrive late enough to where he's still available for most of the Ginyu Force. So that's why we're saving up the strong cards and saving at the start of this. Only at the start, though. If you save... Well, okay, I should explain there are 3 rounds of this minigame. And you don't want to save before the second or third rounds, because for some weird reason, this planet stays at the same strength while Goku gets stronger until you reset the game on the second or third. Then it seems to get stronger, take less damage from your quote-unquote attacks, and it's much harder to get through. You only want to save before the first round of this training. I don't know why this is. I don't know the mechanics of it, but I know this to be true, so be careful about that.
I feel like as a child it would be very easy for you to fuck this up and just not get his help later on.
Heck, as an adult, it was very easy for me to screw it up.
Yeah, because like the game doesn't allude to it either, so it's like, it's completely up to you to figure it out.
And like, my natural instinct is to assume it's determined by how many attempts you take. So like, you can fail this minigame if your cards are weak enough. So I just assumed that it was determined by if you didn't fail at all, you would go there fast. If you failed a bunch of times, you would get there slow. But no, it's determined by how many cards you used. Like, you can intentionally fail, and it won't do anything at all.
Yeah, very strangely designed, like, little portion here.
Yeah. In fact, I actually failed on purpose, if you'll notice. Oh, actually, the cards I want to use is 17 to 18, I think. I'll put the amount in the description, but yeah, I burned a few cards just so I wouldn't arrive too early.
Also, this is the afterlife, right? In the Goku universe, I guess you could call it.
Yeah.
So he's in a different dimension.
You could call it the next dimension.
Really? Okay.
And, oh, by the way, right now, we can one-shot the next boss. And it's okay to save now, because now we're past that mini-game. And we want to take only one strong key card to beat up this guy. More efficient that way.
Right.
That's why we used that turtle, to turn our key card from a 4 into a 7. Faster and stronger.
I remember seeing this guy in the show. I'm not sure what he's up to.
Whatever the heck he wants to.
Did you just kill him?
I did.
Cool.
Now, is there anything else I want to say? I feel like there's something I'm missing. I'll put it in the description if I think of it. Anyways, this has been Fiona Day Quester. I hope you enjoyed this Let's Walk Through for this part and found it helpful. Have a nice day, everyone, and God bless y'all.
Okay, see you, YouTube. Interesting episode.
Bye.